And this is how I ship those compensated nuts. I send them out in a bubble pack, and there's enough for 16 blanks, 16 nut blanks. And it works out to about $5 a piece right now. I'm holding that price while quantities last between now and Christmas. So for $80, it's shipped to your door, continental USA and Canada. And they're sold in 16 packs because you can see by these last two guitars how much difference there is from guitar to guitar. It is a moving target always, and you're going to need those 16 blanks because you'll go through them as you navigate the learning curve. This is the negative values you were asking about on that 339 Moshi, but that guitar's come and gone. I have a 335, same issue. So what I have here, I actually put a radius on that vise, 16-inch radius, and I have taped a piece of that brass underneath that tape, and here's how I'm cutting those values. So I'm back to the guitar now, and that's kind of what we got so far. Let's go see how accurate we are. Well, as is often the case, we got to do a little bit of re-engineering here. I'm going to clean up that truss rod adjustment nut. So the objective here was to buy back some threads of adjustment because that truss rod nut had basically bottomed right out. Well, this is the finished brass strike plate riser. And this will buy us back the adjustment we need. Another tip on these truss rod wrenches, I actually grind out the outside diameter to thin this wall because a lot of the time you can't even get the wrench in there. And this will do it. All right. So now Mark has all the control he'll ever need to adjust this truss rod. It's interesting that they both have this locking tailpiece, which is a good thing. We adjusted that tailpiece so that there is clearance. I want to bring you in a little bit closer to this bridge. This will explain one of several reasons why this guitar could not be tuned, and it essentially sat in its case. Mark said he never played it. Now when you take a close look at these saddles, you can see that the posts for this bridge should have been set back about 1/8 of an inch further than they were. This one is completely bottomed out to the back side of the casting. This one is almost to the back side, and that one. We managed to squeak by, but one of the reasons we managed to squeak by is because with a compensated nut, the saddles tend to move forward this way a little bit more than they would with a regular nut, so that actually saved us. A couple more things I did to the bridge. I did put some heat shrink tubing on the post to tighten it up. The bridge was just slopping around, super loose. Now it's nice and firm. The other thing that I did, because these saddles don't have a retaining spring, if you flip the guitar over face down, the saddles just fall right out. So I did actually wick some blue Loctite on the threads and into the cuffs of the saddles to firm them up. Again, this is all in the spirit of getting this guitar to behave itself as far as tuning goes. So that's what we did with the bridge. There was also a fairly heavy fret dress on the bass side of the fingerboard. Treble side as well, but mostly on the bass, this area here. So that was leveled, recrowned, and polished. And as you can see, the values at the focal point on the nut are negative values all the way across. another reason this guitar would never play in tune. Okay, so the final thing was the tuners. We swapped out the Grover tuners, which were very smooth to tune, and the chrome was beautiful, but they never held the string in tune. I would tune the string, give it a pull, it'd be out. Tune it, give it a pull, it'd be out. It just would not stabilize. Well, I ordered these tuners, incidentally, thanks to all you guys at Solo, Scott and Pedrick and of course Era. It was amazing to find these tuners on my doorstep the following day. Ordered them on Friday, they arrived on Saturday. Anyways, these are a complete game changer, these ratio tuners. They're distributed by GraphTech out of Vancouver, designed by a Canadian engineer, manufactured in South Korea. They are the final word for tuners. There's nothing else to compare them to. The thrust behind the design is that there is a different gear ratio for each string. Man, these guys have thought it out. Look at this, 39:1 for the low E. And this has eliminated the proverbial guitar tuning problems. Thank you, ratio. Now it's time for the tuning test. I have my foam mutes in here so that I don't get any sympathetic resonance from the other strings. Of course, the real tuning test for both these guitars is to plug them in and play some chords. And we're about to do that right now. Okay, here's one last glance, aerial view at Mark's compensated nut on the 335. These are the ratio tuners, and that is where the bridge saddles ended up to get the intonation to line up on this one. Okay, so what I have is a D minor triad with a descending bass line. That's repeated twice, and then to a G minor triad, and same thing with a descending bass line. So I do that twice. So then I go to G minor 6, and then E diminished 7th, 2 inversions, then B diminished 7th, 2 inversions, then to a B major, to a A7 sharp 5, and then back to D minor. Anyways, I've looped that. I'm going to just play over top that. wrap this up with some cords.